Their consciences are seared as if with a hot iron. I take that to mean that they've lost sensitivity to the things of God, to discerning the difference between right and wrong, to knowing the difference between what is clean and unclean, what is holy and what is unholy. And it also says in another place, I believe it's in the book of Acts, written by, I think it's written by Luke. He says that these people have gone past feelings, meaning they're living on the level as animals, or even worse, that they're desensitized to purity, to holiness, to what is right as opposed to what is wrong. They're desensitized to it. It's like when a thief, if they get in the habit of stealing, they lose that conviction and that guilt of being a thief. And the guilt is a characteristic that's been designed by God to put an individual in check with their feelings when they've done something wrong, and they become desensitized to it. It's like watching violence in the movies. They become desensitized to violence when violence is supposed to be abhorred. Violence is an abomination in the eyes of God. And yet people get desensitized to it because that seems to be what they consume their minds with. And they watch violence over and over and over and over again. They become immune to it. They become desensitized. And it's terrible. But yeah, they've gone past feelings. But I guess the only way to become sensitive again is to turn back to God and to have God purify your life and your heart and your mind and your body. We need that purification. We need to be made righteous. We need cleansing. We need to be purified. Like gold in a refinery. The scriptures use that as a common analogy. A purification cycle, which is called sanctification. You're being made holy. It's a process. There's an initial being made right with God when you accept the atonement of Christ's blood. But then after that, there's a continued refining process. Because in order to make gold pure, you have to heat it up and put it through the furnace. And you have to separate all the impurities and the contaminants, and anything that's not gold has to come out. Because God's looking for pure gold. That's the end product. The end product in God's economy is to refine us, to make us pure as gold. And that means holiness, that means purity, that means we're being perfected in the likeness of God. God wants us to get back to our original purity that we lost in the Garden of Eden. Because mankind used to be pure. We used to be perfect. We used to be holy thousands of years ago. But it was lost. That purity was compromised. And we lost that purity, and we we can't get it back on our own, although people are trying with technology. But that purity that God's looking for has to be a divine act. It has to be divine, a divine, instituted divinely and applied to our person. So yeah, God is still concerned about holiness. He's still concerned about purity. Although you wouldn't know it when you turned on the news or watched any other kind of media